Why is my mic flipping and flopping around? Producer, you should have had these all set up.
You're the only one sitting in that seat, so that's on you.
You should have had these all fucking set up. Okay? What's up, guys? Welcome to the NGMI podcast, hosted by Who Cares? And with us today is a very special guest, our friend, Georgie Mae, an international supermodel.
Oh, God, no.
On the covers of many magazines and inside of many more magazines and other things.
What's the biggest magazine you've been on?
So I just did a thing for Vogue recently, which is really nice. It comes out soon, and I'm really, really excited for it. Just because when I actually made like this pact with my mom when I first started modeling, because I got signed like a little over a year ago. And so I was talking to her and she was like, okay, like you can do this, but we need like a lifeline for you to come back because like just in case, like, because it might not work out, whatever. And so my thing was if in 2 years I didn't shoot for Vogue, that I would quit. And so yeah,
So
I did that within a year. So that was really, really cool.
That's fucking awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Also, you said before you got on the podcast that you had mad ADD.
Yes, you can tell by my leg.
I can see it. You're riddling. You're jiggling and riddling.
I wiggle so much. I wiggle too much.
I said riddling because I think that's a medicine they used to use for, right?
Yeah.
Correct.
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 Why are you wearing sunglasses?
I recently got prescribed prescription glasses.
Are those prescription?
No, these are just regular sunglasses because my eyes hurt from the light.
Really?
Yeah.
No. Are you gonna wear it for both episodes?
No, I'm gonna probably take them off, but my left eye keeps twitching because it's stronger than my right eye, so it's doing all the work. I went to an eye exam recently, and I still have 20/20 vision, but one is just a little bit stronger than the other, so it like overcompensates.
Isn't that astigmatism?
I have astigmatism as well.
Oh, that's different. What's that?
It makes lights blur at night. It makes them like go into stars instead of just seeing like the. Because there's like a little curve on your eye.
So I kind of helped you out with your eye thing, because I think I was the first one to point it out.
I knew my eye was twitching before you pointed it out. You just made me anxious about it.
You were denying.
Yeah.
Now I'm self-conscious.
Jack put it on the fast track for you.
He was like, "Are you fucking okay, man?
I sped up the process, dude.
Dying." This podcast isn't about me. This is about Georgie's journey and her life as a model.
Right.
This podcast is called NGMI. Do you know what that means?
No.
It's not gonna make it. So we like to bring people on and talk about where they came from and their success stories. And you kind of broke it down to start with, like the pact with your mom, and then making it to Vogue. But that's not your end goal, right?
It actually was.
She's done.
All right.
I thought it absolutely was. That was like my like shoot for the moon, land in the stars kind of thing. I never thought I'd actually do it. I was like, yeah, like I have this goal, but I did that and I don't know what to do with myself anymore. I'm not gonna lie.
But do you enjoy modeling?
Yes, I love it. Not only just modeling, but like the people that are around me. Like I wouldn't have met you or anything if I wouldn't have been modeling. I'd still be in Louisiana, probably very, very miserable if I wouldn't have started modeling.
What was the story of like how you came out from Louisiana? Like you made the pact, obviously, but like you were just like, I'm moving out here, I signed with an agency. Like what happened to get you to move out here?
So I started modeling about unsigned like 2 years ago. I was modeling for a really, really small chain of boutiques in Louisiana. I will not say the name of them because I refuse to shout them out because they're not the best.
What they do?
I'm a little salty. They so modeling, like you should get paid for your service and stuff.
Right.
They paid us $7 an hour,
Jesus.
and the shoots were like 2 hours.
Is that even
that's
minimum
what I was
wage?
getting paid. That is minimum wage in Louisiana. Yes.
Oh my God.
So,
Wow.
and they were just like, oh, if you had more Instagram followers, we'd pay you more money. That's exactly verbatim what they would tell us. And so I was obviously a tiny bit salty about that. And so I kind of like did that, learned how to like move my body in a way that was relatively graceful and look okay on camera. And so I did that. And then a friend of a friend of a friend of a friend is a mother agency, and so she picked me up and was like, hey, I'm gonna send you to a really big agency out here in LA. And so they sent me there, and then they picked me up immediately, and then they sent me to New York, and they picked me up there, and then Miami they picked me up there, and then Milan they picked me up there, and then
What's the difference between a mother agency and just like a regular agency?
So a mother agency is basically like, from my understanding, is a placement agency. It's just basically like someone who will get someone who's literally not doing anything and has the connections to put them in bigger agencies so that they can actually work. And now my mother agent is just my like kind of errand boy. I'm like, I'll be like,
how can your mother be an errand boy?
It was just an errand person, I guess. Errand woman, errand lady. I'll just call in and be like, Simone, I don't like what I'm doing right now. I want to go home. And she'll just be like, okay, fine. She'll talk to my agents to let me go home. She's like my in-between person, which is really nice.
It almost sounds like a manager, like
kind of, yes.
Right.
Like the person who takes care of like the shit that you don't want to do or that you do want to do. Like you can reach out and be like, hey, I really want this opportunity. Can you like check on this, or can you get me out of this one?
Yes,
Cool.
that is exactly.
You have to have a bunch of agencies in different parts of the world or the country and stuff.
And then as far as the social media needing more followers for more money, that's like, because we've talked about this a little bit at the house. It's like in Los Angeles, I feel like they are very into the social media, and sounds like they were in Louisiana. Like you get paid more if you have more social media, like
more cred.
It just seems like
it does make a lot of sense because if you have a big social media platform, then you can like post it, and then like that's the more exposure it gets. When if you don't, if you just have a small following like me, it's just like, oh, okay, it goes to like a couple thousand people, and then that's it.
Everyone go follow Georgie Mae on Instagram. Tag, what's your tag?
At Georgie Mae.
Georgie Mae.
Go follow.
Georgie
Go
Mae.
follow.
Please.
Double
I'm
G Georgie.
dying out here.
Starving for followers so she can get more work as a model. But
please, I beg of you.
But there's a difference between like just modeling and then being a social media influencer. So
there's a big difference.
Yeah.
So you're a model and you know how to move and stuff, whereas like a social media influencer is just like, try this burger from Burger King.
Yeah, like, and no shame towards people who are influencers. I envy you because I wish I had your following, but
thank you for not shaming me.
I will never shame you. No, but there is definitely a difference. I've lost campaigns to girls with a bigger following than me, which hurts because I'm broke and I need the money. But it's definitely very interesting how, I mean, I'd obviously get pissed off. Can I curse?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, good.
What the fuck ever, dude.
Sorry. People get like ticked off if they lose a job and like you go and you like interview. Should I start with like a casting process? Is that something that would be interesting? Like how you get to the point where you're actually working on the job, because it's a process.
Yeah, what's the process of a working model?
So from the beginning, just getting signed with an agency, then you have to get your book developed, because you can't just like have your face on a website and people are going to work you. They have to be like, oh, she's worked with this photographer and this photographer, been in this magazine. And then people are like, oh, she actually works. And so then they'll actually book you for like a job or like a campaign or something like that. That makes a good amount of money. I gesture a lot with my hands. Lord have mercy.
Yeah, because you learn how to do that gracefully, though.
Right, yeah. Now I just look cool when I do it. And so you're building your book, whatever. And then your agents will send you in a package with just a bunch of girls. So it's like literally just an email. Like a client will reach out to them and be like, hey, we need this person, we need a blonde girl for a thing. And then they just send all of their blonde girls like on an email. And then the client will pick out which one they like the best and then ask for their digitals so that they can see like what they look like right now. And so they send the digitals. Like if they like the way they look, then they will go to a request casting. And so the casting is you go in person, meet these people, see what's going on. And then you will, if you book the job, then you know from that. So yeah, that's the whole process of doing that. And so I was at the interview process. Like I went to meet them. It was right before like you would get booked for it.
Yeah.
For a very big brand, and I was very excited about it. And then they were like, yeah, like this is the date, this is the rate, that rhymes. Like this is where we're going. Like this is you're in, you got it. And then last minute they dropped me for a TikToker.
Damn.
Nice.
I lost my mind.
I've heard of a lot of like people in the industry, whether it's like acting, modeling, like actors will also get like replaced in a role for a Netflix movie because someone has a bigger following and stuff like that. So it is really, it's kind of like weirdly important whether or not you're better at it than the other person to have a following now, because everyone is looking at like who can help promote this.
Yeah.
Right.
Like instead of just working on making the product really quality, they're like, who can like shout us out and like get us something.
Who's the biggest following that we can pay the least amount of money to do this? Yeah.
What were you gonna say, Kevin?
There's like the most social credit. Like whoever has like the biggest following. Yeah, like you said.
Yeah.
Wasn't say anything. I don't have anything to add.
Kevin, just by adding that, nothing. You added something.
Yeah. Thank you, Scott.
The charm of your voice. Do you think Kevin has what it takes to be a model?
Absolutely. You got this.
What type of jobs would he book? Like Kohl's?
Wait, how tall are you?
Like 5'9", 5'10".
Oof, not tall
a little short.
A little
yes. Say 5'11".
5'11".
5'11", yeah. Actually, you'd have to be like 6'1", 6'2". I'm not gonna lie.
Shit, so I can't book anything either. No,
none of us
can.
We're too
you
short.
have a following.
You can
book whatever.
You can book whatever you want.
They'd have you walking for any show ever because you're following.
Yeah, all the shit Georgie's talking is about you.
Yes, it is.
You're the
problem.
I hate you.
Like, I could beat out like a 6'4" dude.
Most
super
likely.
handsome.
Okay.
Yeah.
Damn. No skin imperfections or anything like or like hair missing from the side. Did you have a thing to say after because I ummed at the same time.
I know. I just
say after
Yeah, I want to say that I know photographers can sometimes be a piece of shit because my podcast producer is also a photographer.
Yeah. Thank you.
I wanted to ask you about your experiences with photographers in modeling because I've heard stories from like other people where it can be like kind of sketchy or uncomfortable, or versus like this photographer made me feel very comfortable and was like super not creepy. Yeah. So I just want to know if you've had any experiences like that or what goes on in the industry.
I have a lot of stories about photographers, let me tell you. What should I start with? Sips tea, yes.
Pinky's out.
Forbidden tea. We'll start with my favored one, which is the biggest one. I shot with a very iconic photographer a couple times. He's great. I will not say his name because I don't want to cancel him again.
Again,
yes.
He's been canceled before, sleuths.
Yes. So he is a predator for sure. He is absolutely.
And he's really big?
Very big. Huge. Massive.
But
the great thing, and this is going to sound really bad on me, but he's not a predator towards women. So I'm kind of I'm in the clear. Yes. I'm in the clear. They definitely are a predator towards men, and it's interesting. He got me too'd a while back. I don't know exactly what for, but he definitely he goes on the phone and he opens this up as a very like innocent, very like, I'm trying to help you kind of thing. And so he'll get on the phone with you and he's like, okay, like when I'm behind the camera, I'm a director and you're an actor. So I need you to play out like what this scenario would be in your head. And like, tell me like everything, go walk me through everything. Right. And so he's on the phone and he's like, okay, it's always talking to a straight young man and then this photographer. And he will just be like, hey, like, okay, so there is, I've heard many different variations of this story, but it always includes a woman looking at you. You have to describe the woman. You have to be like, oh, like, what does she look like? Like, what does her hair look like? Whatever. And then she always strips naked and then she does something. And he's like, oh, okay, so what do you feel? What are you doing now? And then he's expecting you to like phone bone like with him. And I'm like, it's bad. And like I've heard stories. I've never experienced it personally, but I've heard the story from 4 different male models, very young, around my age, that he will do this to. And this photographer is a little on the older side. Yes, I'm 20. You're 20?
I don't know if we like addressed that. I don't know if we said how old she was yet, but she's a young model who's already been on Vogue.
Kevin's older. Kevin's just turned 21.
Yeah.
Just did.
Kevin's close to death. 21.
Oh, Jesus.
I know. Getting close. One foot in the grave, the other one on a banana peel. My Lord.
Barely
kicking. Barely kicking.
So
that's scary.
You've heard the story from 4 different people.
Yes.
And basically the director guy, photographer, asks them to go through a scenario where a woman gets naked and then he expects them to act out like a fondling scene or something like that.
Yes.
And this is over the phone?
This is over the phone.
The photographer's pretending to be the female, or he just wants him to like reenact?
No, he just wants him to react, from my understanding.
Damn. So it's like a phone sex thing.
Yes.
But he's just listening. He's not even participating.
He's like, I've heard a couple from, I think it's like, it was 4 guys that I had heard it from. And one of them was like playing Xbox and just had him on speaker and was not paying attention at all, which I think is really funny. The other one was like on the phone, because if you kind of make it weird and just are like, okay, this is weird, why are you calling me like this? Then he won't shoot you.
Right.
What the fuck?
You don't get the exposure. You don't get to shoot with him. So like with the men, it's really disgusting because you really have to play the game. And that is essentially what I think modeling is playing the game.
Kevin, you still want to be a model?
No. That sounds scary.
Did you ever want to be a model?
No. But now I definitely don't want to be a model.
Yeah, it's very, very weird.
So do you not get to pick like people that take the photos of you, or is it usually always like given to you, the person that's taking the photos?
I think if I get to a certain point where I'm like big enough and I can pick, but good job.
Good question, bro.
That is a good question.
Kevin asked a question.
But as of right now, I'm very.
It's kind of just handed to you.
Yeah, I'm still very new, and I'm honored if they pick me. So,
like you said, just kind of like play the game.
Yes, playing the game, just being nice and like, oh my god, that's not that big of a deal.
Playing the game and hoping not to get a creepy photographer, which I'm sure you've had a creepy photographer or two.
A couple, yeah. Most of them aren't like they kind of understand that like if something really bad happens that like I can take legal action, and so they usually steer clear from that. Yeah. But usually, I mean, it's weird enough to where I'm like, Mom, come pick me up. I want to go home. It's kind of like just awkward. Yeah. But I need the pictures, and it's kind of a thing. So yeah. And most photographers are, for any young model out there, any male photographer is absolutely trying to get in your pants. I'm sorry. I wish it was wrong. I wish it was false, but it definitely, in my experience.
Unless they have a girlfriend.
Unless they have a girlfriend.
Unless it's me, Jack TD Photo.
Yeah.
A girlfriend of
the big
7+
photographer
years.
had a wife. The big photographer has that I just spoken about has a wife.
Damn.
Oh, he's married to a woman?
He's married to a woman.
Whoa.
But he's very, very, very not straight. And I'm like...
Damn, I had a question. I forgot what it was. Someone remind me what it was, please.
Something with your eye? I don't know.
No, not to do with my eye. It was a question for her. Oh, maybe it wasn't really a question. It was about photographers and DMing, and like I feel like a lot of times like a photographer, like you probably have gotten like DMs from photographers who are like asking to shoot.
Yes.
And at the same time they're asking you to shoot, they're probably like shooting their shot at the same time. It's like they think of like a shoot as like a date almost, where it's like they don't maybe not think of the shoot as a date, but like they do the shoot and then they're like that's the way they lead into like, would you like to get like dinner or something? Like,
yeah.
So there is a photographer that I know that that has done this to a lot of girls that I know of right now. I will not say their name. I will not say their name because I refuse to. But
you have the right to refuse.
you have the right to remain silent. He invites girls over to his house and has a studio up in his house, and he shoots these girls, and then he kind of is like, oh, like this would look really good if your shirt's off, and like, oh, like maybe like unbutton your pants a little, and then that's his advances on the girls, is being like slowly undressing in front of the camera and then hooking up with them.
Oh, so he's like schmoozing them like into like hooking up with them while photographing them? Photographing them?
I think so. He like gets a good dinner, he gets a nice little dinner like at like order to his house, whatever, and then he will like just photograph you and then like continuously try to make advances on you, and then be like, oh, like let's go watch a movie in my bed. Yeah.
Like
but it's not like a test shoot. He opens it up as like a friend thing, like he becomes kind of your friend and then like does this and then kind of leads it into that.
What would you say, are there any like tips for aspiring models that don't want to be in this circumstance? What are some like tips and tricks to try and avoid that?
Avoid photographers. Don't shoot.
Don't shoot.
Don't start.
My advice to any young model is don't.
I think if you're on,
like, can you bring a friend with you or something?
Yeah, I used to bring my mom with me.
Okay,
that's a good one.
Definitely.
Bring your parent.
Yeah.
No, I think that is definitely a good thing to like bring a friend with you, or like also obviously if you feel uncomfortable with something, like be better at refusing.
Yes.
You've refused a couple times on this podcast to say names, but you got to be able to refuse to say like, no, I'm not taking my top off. That's not what I came here for.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You know?
A big thing is kind of standing your ground, and sometimes they will be pushy. Like I did a shoot with a photographer, the one that wanted me to get like completely naked the whole time, and I was like, no, I'm sorry, I'm not doing that. And then like at some point you almost kind of have to raise your voice. You're like, no, I'm not.
Yeah.
No.
Have you noticed that any like bigger shoots, like magazine, like Vogue per se, like do those have bigger crews or something where it's a lot more comfortable?
Yes. It's always the like kind of weirder, lower, like sketchier magazines.
So when you're trying to like grind and get up the ladder, that's when it's the worst.
Yes. Once you're at the top, it's, I mean, in my experience, like my shoot for, I also did a Numero magazine, and that was really fun. No one was creepy. And they asked me, they were like, is this okay? Like, can we do this? And I was the one that was like, yes, that would be really cool. Like, they propose everything as more of a question than like, hey, take your top off, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
which is how it should be always.
Yeah.
yes, usually it's
like normal question.
Yeah. Most of the time it's like kind of, sometimes the people will like kind of almost guilt you into it. They're like, this would look just so much better if you had your shirt off. When most of the really actual professional people will be like, are you okay with this? Can we do this? And are like, it's okay to say no. Like, that's kind of what that is, which is really, really comforting. That like kind of closer to the top, there's a little better of things.
Gets better.
Yes.
It gets better.
It gets better eventually if you stick it out.
Now, if you start with followers, you just skip that.
Yeah.
step.
Yeah,
then you're already at the top.
completely.
You travel for modeling, and
Yes.
you mentioned also that like LA cares a lot about followers, but like other places you can book gigs because you have work and you've done modeling before. So you've done New York. You recently got back from Milan.
Yes.
How's that?
Incredible. I loved Italy. It was absolutely insane. I met so many people over there. I learned a little bit of Italian, mainly curse words, which is my favorite thing ever.
Teach us.
So my favorite one, taught to me by a close friend of mine, is "ma che c'hai," and it just means "what's going on." And you have to do this with your hands when you do it. You have to go like that.
And that's a swear?
Makachai?
Yes.
What's going on?
Is it like, what the fuck?
Yes, it's kind of like what's going on. Like, you could use it in any context, so do what you want with that.
But is that one considered a curse, or is it
No.
like, that's like a nice thing to, like, not a
That's-
nice thing, but it's like a, like almost like to
neutral.
your kid.
It's,
When your kid
yeah.
like writes on the wall, you're like,
Ma che
Makachata.
c'hai. Yeah.
Mocha chai tea.
Ma che c'hai. My favorite is che cazzo vuoi.
Che cazzo vuoi?
It means what the fuck do you want?
Che
Which is
cazzo
great.
vuoi?
Che cazzo vuoi.
Che cazzo
Che
vuoi,
cazzo vuoi.
Kevin?
Cazzo vuoi.
Che cazzo vuoi? And everyone
Yes.
was doing this when they said
Yeah,
it?
the amount of
Yeah.
hand motions they use is ridiculous.
They actually really
Italians
do
are great.
this?
Yeah.
Oh.
They actually do that.
I want to
They
go to
do
Italy so
this
bad.
thing with their hands.
Just to see that.
I didn't know this was a real thing.
So great. That it is a real thing. And vaffanculo means fuck you. Oh, fuck off. Sorry. That means fuck off.
Vaffanculo.
Vaffanculo.
Che cazzo vuoi? Che cazzo vuoi?
Yes.
Vaffanculo.
Vaffanculo.
Vaffanculo. You.
You. No.
Those two
fuck
words.
off you. Yeah.
I can't remember them together right now, but those two words is what I'm going to answer the phone with every time Jack calls me.
Good.
Che cazzo boy. Yeah. Italy is really, really fun. I actually went there. I didn't really want to go. Actually, any place I've gone, I did not exactly want to go. I came to LA, and I did not want to go here. Originally, I even asked my agents. I was like, "Can I come here?" And then I got here and was like, "I want to go home." I didn't want to do this.
So you originally wanted to come, and then you were like, "Oh, I don't really like this."
Yes. And then I was in New York and didn't want to leave there. Didn't want to go anywhere. I just want to stay in New York. And then my agents were like, "You're coming to Milan." And I'm like, "No, no, I want
on.
to stay here."
Foreign country?
Yes. I was like, I don't speak the language. I do not speak the language out there. But then I left and then ended up loving it. And now I can go to anywhere and I will not be too sad about it. And I'm really happy about that.
So your primary places now will be Los Angeles, New York, and then is like Milan like on the books for like you would go there again to shoot? Like
Yes. I'm planning on basing out of New York because I like the way that I work there.
More
Because I
editorial.
think- I do a lot of beauty out there and it's closer to home. It's a quicker flight to Louisiana and a quicker flight and cheaper flight to Europe if I need to go. Like,
Yeah.
I doubt I'll be doing a whole lot out here because it's very commercial.
Right.
And apparently, I'm a very editorial person. So, yeah.
I don't know the difference. What's a commercial and what's I mean I know what a commercial is, but what's commercial and what's editorial?
Vogue
I don't know.
and Target.
Which one's which?
Oh.
Um,
I think you can guess.
Vogue is editorial.
Yeah.
Target.
Vogue's commercial.
Vogue's commercial, yeah.
Top editorial
Yep.
in the fucking
I've seen a
world.
Vogue commercial here and there. No.
What's the like shortest you can be to be a female model?
It really depends. If you have a look that a designer likes, then they will pick you up, but it's very unlikely. Usually they need girls to be tall and like sample size, which is tall and very, very thin.
Which is an interesting sample size because I feel like the body size average is not that.
It is absolutely not.
No.
Yeah.
The fashion industry is insane how they like really want girls to be skinny. I have a couple of stories about like my time in Milan. So I'm short, right?
No, you're not.
I'm short
Seems
on
pretty
the
tall.
model spectrum.
Okay, there
the
we go.
girls
Okay.
in Milan, they're a little more old fashioned out there. They want girls to be rail thin, like looking emaciated, looking like they're sickly, and they want them to be like 6 feet tall. Like I was the shortest girl in the model department.
Damn.
Dang.
I was, and it by a lot too. Like I was 5'9". The girl closest to me was 5'11". Like it's
I'd feel short.
crazy. Yeah, these are,
I'll call it
and
you, Kevin.
then they're gorgeous, so it's insane. They're just Amazons. It was really fun being surrounded by those people. I feel like I had bodyguards everywhere I went. It was really nice.
So you loved working in Milan.
Loved it.
Pick up any habits there? Smoking cigarettes? Europe's
No,
good
Mom.
for cigarettes.
No, Mom, I did not pick up
Good.
cigarettes.
That
at
sounds
all.
like a yes.
Don't
No,
smoke.
I did not. I would never. No drugs, no smoking cigarettes. No drinking. I do not. Well, I'm legal age over there. So yes, I
Yeah.
did drink there, but I don't drink here because that's bad.
That's admirable. And that, like, my little brother never drank either until his 21st birthday. He had like a little bit of drinks on his 21st birthday, and then he stopped drinking again.
Oh.
Now Kevin, I think learned from bad example not to drink.
I don't think so.
No, yeah, he doesn't think so, but I think so.
Maybe.
I'd like to
so,
think
too.
that I had a good impact on your life by being a bad influence.
If that's what makes you happy, Scott.
Even if it's deep down, I think it did.
I don't know. I never really saw Scott like drunk. Like I played beer pong with him, but like that was like fun.
I mean, you saw it. You were just young.
Yeah, I didn't know what was going on. You just seemed cool.
He's like, Scott's scary.
Why is Scott yelling at everyone? No, Kevin was kind of like a funny kid. Like he would like walk around and call my friends like fork and shit. He'd be like, fork! And then he'd like come up and like hit people and just like not leave anyone
because they were
alone.
like big wrestlers and I was like super small, so they couldn't do anything to me, but I could like smack them around.
Damn, a
It
little
was
spaz.
he was like a little bit spastic in a way. Like you were very kind of like a douchebag little kid. I'll be honest.
Well, you guys were all douchebags though,
Wait,
so like
So did y'all get along really well?
yeah, I think
growing
so.
up?
Yeah.
I'd
Yeah?
like to believe so.
100%. He was just a douchebag little kid, but he was a little kid, so it's like,
Oh,
it's
right,
fine.
yeah.
You know? We don't need to get into the family tree on this episode with Georgie, but
Too much.
Oh no, because I have a
Too
big
much.
family too. Hilariously enough, down in Louisiana, I had my first beer when I was like 13. That is a little bit of an understatement, but my mom gave it to me, so I stand by it.
damn. Well, you got me beat.
Yeah, it was my like 9-year-old sister was like sipping my mom's beer when we would like on Friday nights when we would go out and drink. Like it. People in Louisiana are wild. That's literally the end of it.
I think that's great though. Like if you had like your mom give you your first beer, then you don't like associate it with this taboo thing that you're not allowed to do kind of thing.
Yeah.
That's kind of how you were, right, Scott?
Yeah. I told my mom the first time I went to a party, I was actually 17 the first time I drank, and I was like, hey mom, I think I'm gonna do something dumb tonight. I want to go to a party and I think I'm gonna have some beers. And she was like, okay, well, I'll pick you up. Just let me know when you're done. And like, just don't drink too much and like see how you feel. And then like I didn't feel that drunk. I had like 7 or 8 beers. I got in the car and I was like, I don't even feel drunk, but I was like talking my fucking head off. And she
Yeah.
was like, I think you're a little drunk.
My brother loves his moonshine. He makes moonshine.
Oh, shit.
Yeah,
Damn.
Whoa.
it's insane. He's crazy.
What's Moonshine's proof?
I think it's like 50.
And it depends
I would
on how you
have
make
to.
it, right?
I would have to call him or something or text him, but I know it's a lot. And he sleepwalks when he drinks moonshine.
It's got to be some good proof.
It's really
Whoa.
weird. Yeah,
That
I
sounds
feel like it's like 180.
180 proof.
Yeah.
maybe.
Oh, I guess the proof. You're right. It would be like that would make it
Like
like
100
90,
proof.
that would make it 90%. So
Yeah.
100 proof would be 50%.
Is that how
there's
that
like
works?
whiskeys that's 100 proof, so I feel like moonshine's got to be more, right?
Yeah, moonshine's definitely more.
Yeah, I think it might be like
It
80.
smells like you should put it in your car. I'm not gonna lie. It smells like you should.
80% alcohol, so
80% alcohol.
160 proof.
Jesus.
That's nuts. That's a lot of alcohol.
Take 15 shots of those, Kevin. You'll be dead.
Yeah.
Yes,
One-
my brother. One time we were at a party. My brother had a mason jar, like a sizable one, full of moonshine, and he drank a very substantial amount of it.
He makes it?
He makes it. Yes.
Is that legal?
No.
We're gonna get your brother
Throwing everyone
arrested.
under the bus.
You can't find me. You don't know where I live. You don't know
Won't
where
name
I
drop
live.
anyone but your family.
Nope. Well, I didn't name drop him yet.
I just said brother.
Yeah.
I feel like I will.
That's it.
Yeah, someone I'm related to, I guess.
How does he make it?
So he has this big barrel, and he puts apricots and like a lot of sugar and like yeast or something, and then a bunch of things that make it moonshine, and then like keeps it just boiling for like a month, and then that's how it becomes moonshine. I think.
Does it
I
start
could
with
be
a
butchering
base
it.
of alcohol, or is it just making it all from scratch?
No, he's making it from scratch. And then you have
Yeah.
to boil all the bad stuff out at really high temperatures. And then, like, if you drink the wrong stuff, then you could be blind. Like, it can make you blind. Like, it's really, that's why it's illegal, is because it's sketchy as hell. Like, it can make you blind. But his didn't, and he really liked it.
And he keeps doing it.
And he continues to do it. I don't think
At least
he
he's
drinks
got a hobby.
At least he's
Got
he's
something
doing
to do.
something on that little farm.
Everybody needs a hobby.
Everyone needs a hobby. Illegally making alcohol is obviously the best hobby.
Jack seems way too interested in this. I feel like he's going to start making moonshine.
I feel like that would be really cool. Definitely do it.
Next
for
episode, he's
Something
going to
to
have
do for a
moonshine
YouTube
for
video.
us.
So it's gonna be a moonshine episode.
Can I put it in this apartment? Brett can have some of it.
Let
too.
Brett do
It's on the
it.
balcony.
Smells weird. Let me tell you, very
Dang.
weird. And it smells just like old, gross stuff that's been boiling for a month, which is exactly what
Have
it
you
is.
is,
tried
yeah.
it?
But then it's
Yes.
clear, right?
Does
Yes.
it taste like shit?
It tastes like it should go in your car.
Like gasoline.
Yes, it tastes like it should not be a thing you should ingest. But we would make like cherry bombs out of them. We'd put like all the moonshine, they put cherries in it, and they're insane. They're absolutely insane.
We have a couple more questions. Or I have a couple more questions.
Okay,
At
go
least
ahead.
one about model housing, because you didn't mention on the podcast, but you've lived in housing because you get like flown out to LA to live over here, and they're like not going to put you in your own place, so they put
Yeah.
you in with other models that are in your agency, right?
Yes.
And you like, do you make friends? Are some of them bad or some of them good? Like, how's that situation like? Just getting like thrown in together with a bunch of people that you don't know.
So my first experience in a model apartment was incredible. I met who was at the time my absolute best friend. We were attached at the hip when I was in LA, and we were like this. So sometimes it works, and you completely like will just
like mesh.
you'll just mesh. And the model apartment we have here is really, really nice, and so we're able to like actually enjoy our time there.
Yeah.
The model apartment in Milan was a very different. I was spoiled because I first come to LA, and we have this nice like duplex house on like La Brea, right, which is super nice, and we have air conditioning, which is delightful.
No AC in Milan.
No,
Oh, shit.
no Italians
Yeah.
have AC. They don't believe in it, and it makes me feel weird.
Oh God, I can't go to Italy now unless
Is
it's
it-
like a cold season.
It's horrible. It's like just really hot over there. It's like probably when I left, it was like 35 degrees Celsius, which is like almost 85, 90 degrees Fahrenheit. And so we didn't have an AC, and you can't open a window because that's just hot air coming in and mosquitoes
Right.
coming in.
So all
Damn.
it is like a fan. You just blow a fan.
It just blows around hot air.
So when you're like
awful.
modeling and you're putting on makeup and stuff, and there's it's all hot, like
Yeah.
don't
Sweating
people
all
usually need to like try to not sweat?
Some of the, I guess, really, really nice places have AC, but the place that we had was absolute garbage, and it was insane. The girls there were very interesting. A lot of them I got along with very well, but I had my first like not getting along very well with
Like a little-
people in a model apartment.
I feel like it's like going to school for the first time. You're like, there's some
Yeah.
bullies and there's some kids that you're gonna be friends with. There's some kids that you don't click with.
Yeah.
But like, how many people are in the like the LA one? How many people were in the Milan one? Like, how many people do you generally stay with?
So in LA, I guess they keep a lot less girls there, and they're still very COVID-y over here. And so they're like, oh, so I have my own room. It's a 3-bedroom, and so we have like all three of us have our own room. In Milan, there was 4 rooms, 2 beds each, and then 1 bed with 3. And at
Damn.
some point, it was completely full. It was very funny. There was a bug infestation at my Milan model apartment. They were coming out of the outlet.
What kind of bugs?
I don't know, but they didn't sting, but it was just I don't like bugs. I don't want them in my bedroom.
It's not like what you'd imagine.
What about like a love bug?
I hate love bugs.
It's not like what you'd
They're
What's a
stupid.
love bug?
I was making like a euphemism for like a person that you like. A love bug. You're my love bug.
No,
what's an actual love bug?
They're like little black things with orange heads. They have them in Louisiana. We call them love bugs. And they like, if they're like, the reason we call them love bugs because they're like, when they're mating, they attach like this for some reason, and they just are like that the entire time, and they just fly around and they're just in your face and they go in your eye and they're awful. I hate them. Also,
I was looking at your Instagram profile, looking at photos. You look kind of like Millie Bobby Brown in it. I was like, use this one in the thumbnail. Say it's an interview with Millie Bobby Brown. This one, pink jacket.
Oh yeah, I look.
It's up on screen right now.
11.
Yeah, do you guys see that?
The viewers, not for you.
You get. I was like, where?
Did you guys see that?
You have the like 11 face, like you're about to fucking blow someone's head up or whatever.
Yeah, they always tell us they're like chin down, especially in Europe. They're like chin down. They're like down lower, so you're like this. It's so weird. What was I saying? Oh, model apartment. God, yeah. Awful.
Awful and good. Good and awful.
Great. There's some that are great. There's some that are bad. Laughs like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get. That's
True.
the vibe of it.
Good quote
definitely.
from a good movie.
Amazing
From
quote.
a great movie. Yeah.
Kevin, you seen that movie?
Of course I've seen that movie.
Okay, good.
I've seen a couple.
What's it called?
Forrest Gump.
Mm-hmm.
Who directed it?
Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks.
Who did direct it? I don't even know.
Is that
Who
wrong?
directed it? Tom Hanks.
What?
Should we Google
Never
it?
mind.
Tom Hanks is the actor, you dumbass. He's like, wait, was that wrong? I thought that was
right. Do you know who directed it, Scott?
No, I thought it was Tom Hanks.
You thought he directed it?
Who cares?
Oh, Robert Zemeckis.
Yeah, I know who that is.
He did Back to the Future.
I love Back to the Future. I actually walked into my agency in Milan, and my main booker, looked at me and was like, "No, the door's over there. Like, no, you're going home." Because he was like, "You lied to us about being 5'9", and we're mad about that." And
Damn.
they were upset with me for a while.
Did they measure you like when you walked in, or?
No, he saw it. They know.
Damn.
They know exactly. They can see it because they've done this for so long to where like they know how tall girls are. So I walked in and he like looked at my shoes and then looked at me and was like, "Mm-mm."
Did you wear like big shoes to like make yourself look taller, like those platformy things?
I wore platforms.
That's crazy.
They were about to send me home,
Holy
but then
shit.
they kind of looked at my book again and realized that I shot with couple of really big photographers, and my book was okay. They were like, "Fine, she can stay." Like they were mad.
That's brutal.
Do they like you now?
Mad. Huh?
Do they like you now?
They love me. I love my agents out there.
What's
They're
not to
great.
love?
Yeah.
There's the door. Get the fuck out.
Yep. They're very mean. Many mean things have been told to me. I actually just got a text from my mother agent like a few days ago, and my face. Okay, let me explain. My face looks bad right now because I went to a facial person and my face allergically reacted, and now I'm all scabby because of the allergic reaction. Whatever. Okay, it will look better in a few days when I heal.
Hey, but having a couple pimples or whatever scabby things, it's fine.
Yeah,
everyone gets that.
I mean, like usually my face looks a lot better. And I sent a picture of my clear face when it was clear before I got a facial to my mother agent, and she was like, "Your face looks bad. You need to fix it." I had like a single bump like right here. I walked onto set to one of my favorite shoots that I'd been on. It's now one of my favorites. And the photographer was a bigger one, and I was like, okay, like excited to meet him. So I shake his hand, and I'm like, "Hi, I'm Georgie. Like, it's nice to meet you." And he looked at me and was like, "You should not have walked on set with your face looking like that." And what am I supposed to say to a photographer who's really big and who tells me something like that?
And this is a situation where you had like maybe one blemish or something like that? Like what?
Yeah, like my face was not looking that bad. I know when it looks bad, but like this was not bad.
The more you talk about modeling, the worse it sounds.
Yeah.
Cutthroat.
Yeah,
That sounds brutal. I could not do that.
It is brutal. They bring the girls into in Europe. They're still really bad about like body stuff, and they made us stand like this with our arms out, and they poked us. And they were like, if it jiggles, you have to lose it.
Damn.
Jeez.
It was like rushing a sorority. Like,
That shit is
insane.
brutal.
They like were poking us everywhere. They're like, it was insane.
Oh, that's crazy. It's like bullying, like hazing. It sounds
It
like
is.
hazing.
It is. But I mean, disclaimer, right? Like, I knew what I was getting into with modeling, and this
Right.
is my job, and I do love it. But there are like negative things about it, but there's also a lot of great things about it, like the network I've made and like the people I've met and
The places that you go even though you don't want to at first, and then you realize,
Yeah.
oh, I was just anxious.
oh, I was just a little scared.
Yeah.
The traveling I've done and the people I've met have been definitely outweigh all of the negatives. And I
Yeah.
know we've talked a lot of smack
And all,
today.
we did
But
talk a little too much smack, I feel like.
I know.
But like overall, you know, you're 20, you've experienced so many things that so many younger people like don't get to experience, like
Yeah.
traveling all over the world and meeting so many different people and shooting with photographers and being in magazines and stuff like that. It's pretty fucking cool, despite all the downsides, which sound pretty fucking awful.
Yeah, most of the time I'm very safe because the agents that I have are very much on my side, as much as they're like, hey, your face looks like shit, or like, hey, we're gonna poke you and if it jiggles you lose it. As much as they're like that, they're very, very overprotective over
Good.
us.
It's like
That's
a
good.
it's like a tiger mom. Like, they want the best for you, so they're pushing you really hard.
Yeah.
And they're kind of like on the edge of being like
borderline
bad.
abusive.
Yeah.
Like borderline, like that shouldn't really happen, but then also like, wait, but you're doing good things for me. It's like a really toxic relationship with a person, but then I still do it because I like it. I guess I don't know actually.
You know, you got an abusive mother agent, but you got a nice mom, I'm sure. So you know, you
Yeah, my mom is
Balances
lovely.
out.
Little Gigi is a
Nice.
lovely little lady. She's great.
Mama Gigi, is that what you said?
Yes.
So
Mama Gigi.
why is there 2 G's in your Instagram name?
Because just Georgie Mae, just the Georgie Mae was taken, and so I just added a G.
Oh, I thought
because-
maybe it was like an ode to your mom. Gigi.
Nah.
I
Or
doubt her
Gigi.
mom's name is spelled GG.
Yeah. No, my mom's name is actually Georgie. They just call her Gigi.
Oh.
Oh.
I'm the 5th in my family.
Damn.
Me, my cousin, my mom, my grandmother, my great grandmother.
So you're Georgie the 4th.
I'm Georgie the 5th.
She
Fifth.
just said
She
she's
just
the
said-
fifth.
Well, isn't Junior first?
Well, Junior second.
I don't think it works the same for women.
Oh.
Georgie Junior.
I think we just liked the way that it sounded and just were like, we're going to name everyone that.
Well,
And so we did.
Is Louisiana in Georgia?
Yes.
It's right next to it, right? They're close.
There we go.
We have a thing where we're like really bad with geography here, so
Yeah, it is in
mostly
Georgia.
me.
Actually, I met someone who, his name's Artie. That one I will name drop. He's great. Love him to death. I introduced myself and I was like, hi. He's like, where are you from? He's from like Brooklyn. And so he has like this really, really thick accent that I cannot recreate. But just imagine a big like guy from Brooklyn who looks like he's from Brooklyn. With a
Hey,
really
where you
Brooklyn accent.
from?
Yeah, like that. And I was like, I'm from Louisiana. And he was like, is that in Georgia? And we were like, yeah, you're right.
Hey,
So
Scott and
that's
Kevin both thought Washington, D.C. was in Washington, the state.
Wait, but now that you've said that it is in Georgia like several times, I'm like, is it, or
is.
not?
Yeah. You didn't know that?
I thought it was, and then I was like, I got really insecure, and I didn't think it was. And the way you keep saying yes, I'm like, are you fucking
Are
with
you
me?
kidding?
I couldn't tell you where either of them are.
Louisiana or Georgia? You don't know where they
Louisiana is a
I
state.
got a good
are.
idea.
Louisiana is a state. Georgia is another state.
And thank you so much for coming on the podcast, Georgie. I think we're gonna wrap it up here on that note.
Isn't that where Jack's sister lives?
What? She lives in New Orleans.
Oh, that's Louisiana.
That's Louisiana.
No, New Orleans is a state.
Dude, shut the fuck up.
That's great.
Yeah, but actually, I think we do need to wrap up the podcast.
Probably.
Is there anything that you want to plug? Anything you want to shout out?
My mom and my sister probably.
Shout out Gigi.
Hell yeah! Fuck your brothers.
Fuck you, Peter.
I mean, fuck your brother. Well, don't actually
He
fuck your
always-
brother, but
Louisiana, not Alabama. Bye. Bye.
ooh, that one stings for all you Alabama people out there. She didn't
Yep.
mean it.
I meant it with every ounce of my being.
Okay,
actually.
no, I guess she meant it. She didn't come here to play. Thank you so much for coming on, Georgie. It
Thank
was a
you.
pleasure. Thank you for telling us about your experiences in the modeling agency. On the count of 3, we're all going to say NGMI out.
Okay,
Are you ready?
let's go.
1, 2, 3. Give it a beat. NGMI out.